With God's help and through the prayers of the Holy Fathers, Holy Sophia Prayer House presents a video prepared on an Orthodox Christian topic. Thank you for your attention, and we wish you a spiritually beneficial and fruitful viewing. Women, Heralds of Easter. Author, Protopresbyter Alexander Shmemin. Translated from Russian by Tiona Rukadze. Christ is risen. On the second Sunday after Easter, the Church commemorates the Mothers of the Cross, that is, those women who came early in the morning to the tomb of Christ to prepare his body for burial. Here they became the first witnesses of his resurrection. According to the Gospel, Christ first appears to them, says to them, "Rejoice." He sends them to the apostles as messengers of the resurrection. And in this regard, it is timely and appropriate to observe the faces of women, how the Gospel portrays them. Let us reflect on Christian teaching, or perhaps it is better to say, on the Christian feelings of women, because it is in the Gospel that these feelings are best rooted and shown, and what place women occupy here. First of all, when reading the Gospel, it is impossible not to notice right away that a woman, and then women, appear here only at the beginning and only at the very end, at the end of the life of Christ. At the beginning, this woman is a mother. This is a story about the nativity and the cave, and about the child being brought to the temple to be presented before God. Then the mother seems to disappear, although we constantly feel that she is there, close, but wordlessly, silently, against the background of the life and sermons of her son. And here is an unexpected and strange story narrated by John the Evangelist, the mother's request at a wedding feast in Cana of Galilee. Let there be no wine, at first glance a banal trifle, an everyday, insignificant detail, but the celebration is ruined, the joy is threatened with sadness. Immediately the mother's request, support, as a result, the first miracle, the turning of water into wine, and then silence again. Christ teaches and instructs the apostles, but it seems that women also constantly follow and serve him. And finally, we are at the cross. Everyone fled, everyone abandoned him, everyone betrayed him. Not only the crowd that followed him and expected miracles, help, and healing from him, but also his closest friends, the disciples' apostles. Now is the time for women. The mother stands at the cross, but she is not alone. Matthew the Evangelist tells us there were also many women there from a distance who had followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joses, and the mother of Zebedee's sons, Matthew 27 verses 55 to 56. When death comes, these women participate in the taking down of the body from the cross and do everything they can to prepare it for his burial. They go at dawn to prepare, cleanse, prepare the tomb, and bury the body. And finally, they hear his powerful Easter cry, "Rejoice." What does all this point to? The first thing that the Gospel has forever affirmed in the face of a woman is love, but not just love, but love care, love service, love dedication, and at the same time love that asks for nothing in return. The apostles of Christ argue about which of them is the most important, for whom the best place is prepared. They ask questions, argue, and discuss. And about women, only 2 words: they followed and served. This is love without words, love indeed, love without doubts. This is the eternal, innate motherhood of a woman, her constant destiny, to care, to feed, to raise, to comfort, to sacrifice herself in order to ultimately lose everything, because the adult son leaves and the daughter also leaves. And everyone begins their own life. The Gospel shows us all the beauty of this love, care and joy, sorrow and death. The second is loyalty. The disciples fled, the women remained. Terrible hours of sorrow, loneliness, and death. This is silent loyalty, silent compassion. They did not listen to the teaching of Christ. The Gospel assures us that they knew nothing about the resurrection. They could not have any calculations or hopes for anything. The one they loved, whom they followed, to whom they gave all their love, care, and loyalty, died on the cross. Humanly speaking, everything collapsed and nothing remained except the tormented body. But loyalty remained. Loyalty without calculations, loyalty to the end. And how simply, how briefly, but how exhaustively the gospel shows us this loyalty. And finally, the third, faith and joy. Again and again, faith that does not become a subject of judgment. This is the faith of the heart, the knowledge that only women possess. Of course, it is no coincidence that the gospel tells us that after the resurrection, Christ first appears to women. Then there was Thomas with the words, "Unless I see, I will not believe," John 20 verse 25. Doubts, conditions. And about the women at the tomb it is said, "And behold, Jesus met them and said, 'Rejoice.' And they came and knelt down and worshipped him," Matthew 28 verse 9. All this was a long time ago, but if we look into the depths of the centuries that have passed since that morning, then it becomes clear that the face of a woman has been preserved. She lived and always filled the world with her simple, heavenly beauty. The history of mankind was raging, kingdoms were born and fell, culture was built, bloody wars raged. But in this confusing, tragic history, the face of a woman always shone unchangingly. The face of care, dedication, love, compassion. And if it were not for this presence, this light, our world, despite its successes and achievements, would be only a terrible world. It is without exaggeration to say that a woman saved the humanity of man and preserves it to this day. She preserves it not with words, not with ideas and ideologies, but precisely with this silent, caring, loving presence of hers. And if, despite the reign of evil throughout the world, the secret celebration of life does not cease, if it is celebrated in a poor family, at a modest table, with the same joy as in a palace, then the joy and light of this celebration are in a woman, in her constant, unquenchable love and devotion. Let there be no wine, but as long as she is here, mother, wife, beloved, there is enough wine, enough love, enough light for everyone. Christ is risen. The source S translated by docs.google.com. Apologues for any errors. Hagia Sophia Chapel. May God bless you. Thank you for your attention. You have watched a video presented by Holy Sophia Prayer House. Please subscribe to the channel so that it may become more successful and its work may serve good and beneficial purposes even more effectively. May God help and bless you.